Hey, homeowners. Today I'm here with some very special guests. This is Kids on the Block. They are a local nonprofit organization. Is that right?
That's right.
So these guys specialize in schools, assisting with mental health and child abuse prevention.
Mm-hmm.
They've been around for a long, long time. They are
40 years
40.
this year.
They are coming up. You got hair in your mouth. I'm going to get that out. So I wish I had hair in my mouth, but... So these guys, they're a very dedicated group of puppeteers, strong mission.
Mm-hmm.
We are proud of you guys. Thank you for what you do.
Oh, thank you.
So if you don't know about Kids on the Block, we've all probably been exposed to maybe some of their programs,
Mm-hmm.
but their true mission is to give kids a opportunity to maybe confide in a source or an adult
Mm-hmm.
and get maybe some protection or some assistance in that sort of thing in a threatening environment. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, so we go into schools and other children's organizations, and me and all of my friends, we do programs so that kids will know how to keep themselves safe and healthy. We've got lots of different topics, like bullying and child abuse prevention and substance use and accepting differences. There's 12 topics that we present on.
So that's great. That's great. So is there training to be a puppet, or is it how? I know you guys, your puppeteers are very dedicated. What does that look like behind the scenes? Maybe stuff people don't know about the Kids on the Block.
Well, our puppeteers have to train a lot. When we first hire a new puppeteer, they train for about 6 weeks before they do their first program.
Wow.
And then after that, they're constantly learning new topics. So we probably train at least 15 hours a week when we're not in schools doing shows.
So it's kind of like overworked, a lot of work, a lot of dedication.
Yeah.
So how do the puppets feel about the impacts they make on these kids in these schools? Do you guys, does it warm your heart because you've done so many good? I know we probably have a lot of good stories out there. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. You know, kids, they see us as kids just like themselves. So sometimes they'll open up to us during programs and share things that maybe have happened to them that made them feel uncomfortable or unsafe. So we also sometimes get invited to birthday parties by kids in the audience, and they ask where we're going and what we're doing and if they can come with us sometimes.
Wow. So you guys have an executive director, Ashley Reynolds, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So you guys have strong leadership behind you. Seems to me like almost all of your puppeteers, like Amanda, and they've been there a long, long time. So
yeah.
And the longest puppeteer,
Miss Gina, she's been with Kids on the Block for 18 years.
18 years.
Yeah, that's like way older than I am.
Oh, wow.
I'm only 11.
Wow. So we've got some history there. You guys were originally started by a puppeteer back in the day. She went to a program and saw this. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So Jamie Gaddy Higgins, she has a daughter who has spina bifida. And when her daughter was a little girl, they went to Nashville to a spina bifida convention, and a Kids on the Block was there doing a program about spina bifida.
Wow.
So she and her friend Alice decided that they would make a Kids on the Block here in Bowling Green to serve the kids in our area. And now we've grown to serve the whole state of Kentucky. Wherever we find funding, that's where we can go and do our programs for kids.
Perfect. So one way that we do funding is we help sponsor the Points for Puppets tennis tournament.
Yeah.
Along with Parker Lord, they're also a sponsor, and they've done that for a long, long time. What are some other ways that if you want to get involved with Kids on a Block program that you can assist, you can sponsor them? Can you make donations, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we do have a monthly donor project. So if you want to be a monthly donor, our monthly donors range in like $5 all the way up to like $200.
Wow.
You can give whatever you want. But we also have lots of fundraisers. We have 3 kids runs each year. So bring your kids out and let them run. Those are completely free too.
Wow.
For the kids.
So you guys recently opened up a location in Glasgow, or you're more involved, getting more involved with the Glasgow Chamber of Commerce? Is that true?
Well, we don't have an actual location open up there, but we do have one of our kids runs in Glasgow.
Okay.
And so that helps us raise money for free programs to all the schools in Barron and Hart counties.
Perfect. So are those some areas that probably need some extra love right now? Maybe some extra attention? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, of course. We are always looking for sponsors for our Glasgow run and our run in Franklin. But we also have a golf scramble too. Did you know about that one?
Yes, I did. I've been there. I played in the rain one year, and we had the best time ever.
I like playing in the rain. I get on my rain boots and my raincoat and just kick around in the puddles.
Well, I just want to say thank you to the puppeteers and to the puppets. They work hard, and we know it. Great cause. A lot of exposure to the right things and doing good in the world today. And we just want to say thank you and for what you do, and keep doing what you do.
Okay.
And stay sharp. And we thank you. So
yeah,
proud to be a sponsor. So we're going to bring Ashley Reynolds, the executive director, on board now, and she's going to give us a little more details about about what you guys do. But just want to say thank you to Regina and Amanda and all the puppeteers, and thank you guys.
Yeah, awesome.
Hey, homeowners, Shaun here. We have a very special guest with us today, Ashley Reynolds. She is the executive director of Kids on the Block, which is a nonprofit. We had the puppets here, and today we got a couple of things we want to discuss with you. One of them being the Points for Puppet fundraiser that they're doing, along with Parker Lord and Foundation Solutions Group. Happy to be a sponsor of that. Ashley, you got a great cause here.
Yes.
You've been with Kids on the Block how long?
12 years.
12 years. That's a long time in the puppeteering
How long
business.
have you been in the foundation business?
It's a long time. Not as long as you've been an executive director, but been a contractor for a long time. But Ashley's done a great job. I want to kind of pick her brain and talk about their programs and maybe some of the impact that she's witnessed during her long tenure as this executive director. But she does a great job. Mary and I are very proud to be affiliated with Kids on the Block. And then we also have an interesting story. If you want to, were you the executive director when Philip gave the money for the air conditioning?
No, I was not. That was before I arrived at Kids on the Block, but I know that story. It's a beautiful story. Do you want to tell it or do you want me to?
Yeah, I want you to.
Yeah. So Shaun's basically your stepson. Philip, when he was a child, found out that the puppets, the upstairs area in our old office didn't have air conditioning, and he did not want the puppets to be hot or without air conditioning. So I think it was his birthday. He used as a fundraiser for Kids on the Block to raise money so the puppets could have an air conditioner and where the puppets were stored in their little home at the office. So we love stories like that because that's the kind of grassroots fundraising that has made Kids on the Block so special. And, you know, of course, that his passion for Kids on the Block has led to Mary being one of our most active board members, and then the two of you being two of our strongest supporters, both financially and with involvement with your time. So it just shows children are the power because of Philip's passion. It's led to so much more for Kids on the Block.
True story. Well said. So great. Took his birthday money and put it toward the HVAC system. And I'm not sure how old he was, but maybe 8, 9 years old.
He was just a kid. Yeah.
So instead of buying toys, he donated it to
Yeah,
Kids on the Block so
special.
the puppets wouldn't get hot.
It's very special. It's very special.
So great story there.
Mm-hmm.
So Mary, like mother, like son, I guess. So
Yeah.
So great story there. Let's talk about the tennis tournament. So Points for Puppet, that's been going on for about how long?
Gosh, I think this is our 7th year. It has been a huge fundraiser for us. We're on the Central Kentucky Tournament Series Tour, which is huge. That means we're in a sequence with some other local tournaments, and it attracts tennis players from all over the state. We have a lot of built-in participation being on the tour, and then a lot of people come and support us because, you know, they love Kids on the Block, but it's for all ages. It's August 16th and 17th this year, but it'll be, you know, something that we'll do every year. And definitely, of course, you all are one of the title sponsors with Parker Lord. We have just an amazing partnership with the new Warren County Sports and Tennis facility here. Of course, Mary serves on our tennis committee, but we have anywhere from 125 to 175 players.
Wow.
And we really like our events to hit different demographics. So we've got our kids runs, which you all also support in 3 different communities. You all support all of those. But the tennis tournament, attracts adults. It has children that come. And the Kids on the Block really focuses on fundraisers that also complement our programs. Like we have a healthy habits program. We have a mental health program. We have a self-esteem program. And so we really love the outdoor sports active events. We're planning a 40th anniversary. We have a tennis tournament. We have a garden tour. We have different things, but we really want things that encourage people to have healthy habits, because that's what Kids on the Block is trying to do. Create children that will instill habits to be healthy adults.
Firm body, firm mind.
Yes, that's you just shortened what I said into 4 words. You consolidated that well.
So when you were talking, Kids on the Block is coming up on their 40th anniversary,
Yes.
which is a huge milestone.
Yes.
So I'm sitting here thinking in my mind, what does Kids on the Block look like in 40 years, just as an executive director?
Shaun, nobody has asked me that. That is such a deep question. I am, what a wonderful question to ask. I don't think that our founders could have imagined where we'd be today. Our in the beginning in 1985, it started about acceptance of differences, and that's still the focus of all of our programs, is to teach acceptance of differences. But over time, we've evolved to, tackle child abuse and mental health, and cyberbullying has become huge. You have children that are becoming so distraught from cyberbullying that they're resulting to suicide. So it just gives me chills just saying that, just because that's what we're dealing with now, with what children have to go through. But the next 40 years, I hope Kids on the Block keeps evolving with the times, and make sure that whatever the key issues are impacting Kentucky children, because that's what we focus on, Kentucky children. I hope that we continue to make sure that we focus on those issues, and make sure that we're addressing these concerns. And numbers are big for us. We impacted 33,440 children last year in 2024. But
did you say 33,400?
33,440 children.
440 children.
Yeah,
wow.
Across 32 Kentucky counties. A lot of people think that we're just in South Central Kentucky, but the puppeteers travel the state. They were in Western Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, Northern Kentucky this year, and but we could not impact local children as much as we do without the support of our local partners. And charity starts at home. And so because of events like Points for Puppets, we're able to offer local schools. They don't have to wait for a grant or pick a certain topic. All the local schools were able to say, pick whatever topic best fits the needs of your school, your student body. And some that's mental health programs, some that's cyberbullying, some that's self-esteem, some that's problem solving. And so without partnerships like this, we wouldn't be able to do that locally.
So I'm trying to think back. Thank you for that vision. I'm trying to think 40 years back. So I'm 52 years old, 53.
I'm 42.
Okay. But I remember the puppets. I went to Cumberland Trace Elementary School. That's not a school anymore. They're building a new building. But I remember being in the gymnasium and all the kids, and there was this buzz, and everybody loved it when the puppets came. And I guess they probably came maybe twice a year, but it might have been once every year. But anyway, I'm just fascinated when you see those puppets and the way they do their voices, and it's so captivating to see that. And then I guess at the end you have this thing, if there's any issues, I can definitely see somebody using a child, maybe relating to a funny story. I don't know if you remember this. We went to Kids on the Block headquarters, and I had an employee one time. His name was Alozo, and he was about this tall, standing up. So we took him points on the puppet, and he went in the back, and then they got this storage facility with all the puppets hanging up, and most of them are retired puppets. Well, Mary told me that Alozo, he's looking around at these puppets because they're just as big as he are, but it's so funny. We still joke about that today, but his eyes got that big around, and he was just like, what is going on in here? So,
yeah. Well, adults are, we've had adults that say, where are the kids behind the puppets? We've gone and spoken to civic organizations at their meetings, and the puppeteers are so good that they think that there's actually a kid behind it. And I'm like, no, there was an adult behind it. They're like, no, you had kids back there. And we're like, no, there really are adults behind the puppets. And these kids ask everything from, why don't you blink, to, is it child abuse? If someone pulls me across the floor by my hair, they'll say, can you come to my birthday party next weekend?
Wow.
They'll say, should this be happening to me? And so the biggest response we get are through the letters that they write to the puppets. The kids write these letters and they're confiding in things about things. One child said that, he hadn't been abused, but his classmate had been in 6 different foster homes and had been abused in several of those. And these kids are wanting to protect not just themselves, but they also are trying to help their friends, their peers, to get out of situations they don't need to be in. And a lot of people will say, oh, kids have imaginations, and is what they say is true. But I will tell you what I've learned from these programs is children love their parents. They love their families. And so if they're telling something, it's probably true.
Wow. I like what you said about the letter. Maybe we get carried away when we're talking, socializing and stuff, but you're not mystified. It's kind of deep when you sing or when you write a letter. Those are true feelings. So that's got to be pretty powerful stuff when you get that.
And letter writing is definitely a lost art. And these kids are still, and drawings, they'll draw things sometimes. And when we see something that we feel like is not something that a child should be knowing, or something that feels just off, it's called a red flag letter. And so we flag it, we send it to the counselors, we let them know this is what we received, and the counselor makes sure to do the follow-up. And then we follow up at the end of the month. Like, for example, this morning I saw emails from counselors and they said, okay, I talked to the parent about this one I did report, this one was a past situation. So we really try to stay on top of making sure that no child falls through the cracks. That's my goal.
I like that. So I'm sure you have a smorgasbord of stories that you could share. You want to take some time to tell us maybe 1 or 2 little events that have been so impactful to maybe you or the puppeteers or...
Yeah. So we had a sibling group in a local school, and they were being abused, and they confided in the puppets after the program that through letters and then through raising their hands that of what was happening. So that parent was reported. I actually went to court and saw that kind of that play out. And I will say, I got there and I thought, oh, I'm going to be so frustrated with this parent, but I really got there and thought, wow, I hope this is a road for this parent to have a better future as a parent. But those children were removed. I don't know where they're at specifically right now, but I do know the last time that we checked, the teacher said that the children were not doing very well with their classes, and the next year it was a 180. They were doing so much better. So, abuse doesn't just impact kids physically, mentally, emotionally, but it also impacts how they're doing with their schoolwork and with their relationships, and realizing that it's not normal. That's the biggest thing. A lot of these kids, this is just normal to them. Like, right. You and I get up and brush our teeth or go to work, and for them, abuse is just a normal thing. We also had a little girl, an ER nurse told us about a situation where a little girl had been going to the ER multiple times, and she had flu-like symptoms, but every time she would come, they really couldn't diagnose her with anything. And one of her visits, she tells the ER nurse that she was being sexually abused by the boyfriend, and she was trying to basically she was sick. She had symptoms, but she was becoming ill because she knew he would leave her alone. And she told the ER nurse, the puppets told me to tell. So that was, wow. Just really powerful for us. The puppets told me to tell, like, wow, that was why she felt confident and brave enough. And just these kids they're so resilient. They're so brave. They're so courageous. I mean, I sometimes read these letters or situations these kids are going through, and I'm thinking they have so much more strength than I've had all my 42 years combined. In one moment, they're able to have these, be able to, just say things that are just very hard. And we don't give kids enough credit. Right. We really don't.
So nothing like this happens, a nonprofit, without funds. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's a constant endeavor.
Yes. You know me, Shaun, it's constant. Yeah.
So what can people do? I mean, do we feel like we stay a little ahead of the funding, or are we a little behind the funding? I know there's great contributors out there that do a lot, like Mary and John Kelly, and mm-hmm. not just a special name anybody, because they all contribute. But what can someone do to help kids on the block the most? Is it a bunch of small donations from a lot of different people, or would it be, you can only have so many fundraisers a year? How do we get these people involved to really
I think it just takes people knowing, what their capacity is to give. The biggest thing that I hear on a regular basis is no matter what the gift, a small gift, a bigger gift, people always downplay it. I've had people that are some of our major funders say, "Oh, I wish I could do more." And I'm like, "You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing." We've had monthly donors give $10 a month and say, I don't feel like that's enough. And I've said, at the end of the day, our monthly donors, they pay, a paycheck every pay period for a puppeteer. That's where all these monthly donors added up to. We have 26 monthly donors right now. I would love for us to add to that. I think that's where our biggest growth is going to be, is just the regular, even, if your company can't give, you don't own a business, but if you can just do that monthly, just like a magazine subscription, I sound like I'm ancient. if you can do, just a gym subscription, or, anything that you're doing on a monthly basis. And just knowing kind of like, Points for Puppets is, okay, that's your all's main focus. I think that's the biggest thing. If people want to fund a particular school, a particular topic, do it through a particular fundraiser, but just also give them with their time. I don't think people realize when they give us their time, that saves money. Time is money. So when someone comes in the office, we've got some Monday volunteers, some Tuesday, Thursday volunteers, and every time a volunteer comes in there, that's creating money for us because it frees the staff up to do something else. So
that's huge.
Huge.
One of the things as a company that we want to do is we have financial means, but we have more. We could donate more time, and so I told Mary that's something I'd like to see us going forward.
What are you doing this afternoon, Shaun? I'm just joking.
Yeah, 8 hours of community service for every employee.
I'll see you in a little while.
I know. We'll help. We should do that. We should do. I guess we're kind of selfish with our time, and we don't mean to be, but we really pound the pavement like you guys do during the year. We pound the pavement. Another fundraiser that Kids on the Block does. So Scotty's there.
Yeah, Scotty's
Construction
been supportive a very long time, and Scotty's Pound the Pavement was actually a fundraiser that during just during our earlier growth years really kept Kids on the Block going. So we're very supportive, appreciative of everything that event's done. But there's so much growth to be had on all of these fundraisers.
So if you were going to contribute to Kids on the Block on a monthly basis, and maybe you could do it long term, maybe it's short term, how do you do that?
Yeah, you can go to our website, kykob.org. You can call our office, 270-842-2259. I'm also very accessible. My name is Ashley Reynolds, and I would love to talk to people one-on-one and let them know, how we can best partner. And, the biggest compliment I have sponsors, donors, individuals give to us is how friendly our staff is. When you donate to Kids on the Block, you become a Kids on the Block family, and, you'll be invited to, different events, lunches, and we'll keep you in the loop. So if you don't want to be communicated with, you probably shouldn't donate to us, because we once you're a part of the Kids on the Block team, you're a part of it. So
I want to give a shout out to the puppeteers.
That's the power of the puppets, is the puppeteers. I mean, it's not the money, it's not what I do. It's the I tell people frequently that is the hardest job, because you've got to be so professional, but you've also got to channel children's thoughts, emotions. It is a draining, physically demanding, mentally, emotionally exhausting job, and these individuals are mind-blowingly talented, and we're so grateful.
So yeah, thankful to the puppeteers, and I guess they don't get the exposure maybe that they should, because they're kind of like behind the scenes, that kind of thing. And there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people probably don't see, but
so much training.
Training, yeah. I couldn't imagine. So they come to life. I'm just so amazed every time I see these puppets, and so that's great. So you've done a great job. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
If you're interested in assisting this great cause, this great nonprofit, where you can Points on a Puppet, you can sponsor a fundraiser like this, or get with some of us. I'm sure they'll think of ways you can do. The golf tournament is a huge hit. It usually sells out immediately. There's a lot of fans there. But at the end of the day, it's not about us. It's about Kids on the Block and their cause. The stopping the abuse, trying to curb that, and trying to help extend this. You said 32 counties. That's just that's bigger than the area that we serve, I think. But let's just keep pushing forward. And then if you guys can get in touch with Kids on the Block and maybe be a temporary donor, anything would help. large amounts, small amounts, all that kind of stuff. And then board members. Do you have enough board members? You guys need anything
Always
like that?
use the more people, the right person. We're always trying to fill certain needs. So, but you're such a great advocate. I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm like, you could work with us. 'Cause, Shaun is the ideal advocate. He doesn't just know about what he sponsors. He's obviously knows a lot about Kids on the Block, and that's exactly what we like. Your donors that are educated and passionate about us year round. So thank you for always staying up to date and educating yourself and just being consistently passionate about what we do. I know you all support a lot of nonprofits, but you all make us feel like we're the one. So thank you.
That's how I know so much about this. But no, I'm kind of outside the box, so I'm not be good to have on the board. But thank you for your time today. Thanks to Puppets for being here. We loved it, and looking forward to the upcoming tournament, Points for Puppet, and we'll see you soon.
Yes.
Thank
you.